Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaurudaye Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinirasmarana Hoya Vighana Vinashana Anayasa Safal Nija Vanchita Purana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Sri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta on this auspicious tithi of Ekadashi, and then we will read Bhagavatam as well. Especially Prabhupada mentioned in a purport, and my wife Manjulali Priya shared today, one of the quotes from Go to Goloka campaign. One who hears this Bhagavatam on this day of Ekadashi and Dwadashi is assured of long life, and one who recites it with careful attention while fasting is purified of all sins. So there is, of course, reading every day has a lot of advantage, but doing reading on Ekadashi and days has a lot more significance. Why? Madhava Tithi Bhakti Janani Bhajan Anukula. These days are Bhajan Anukula, very, very favorable and very, very favorable environment is there. The body, we little bit kind of takes a prior, like a secondary thing. The focus is not eat. The focus is to eat Harikatha or drink Pibata Bhagavatam, Rasam Alayam. So we are reading Adi-lila, chapter 3. We read till text number 11 yesterday. And this chapter is entitled The External Reasons of the Appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have read till text 11, and we will read from the next verse, which is text number 12. And we are reading about the lifespan and the time series of Brahma and a day of Brahma, etc. So we were discussing that how Krishna appears once in one day of Brahma, and that one day of Brahma is equivalent to 311 trillion years. So it's so rare. Not in every Dwapar Yuga. Out of 1,000 Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appears once. Out of 1,000 Kali Yugas, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears once. Okay. So now we can move on to the next verse. Dasha Sakha Pita Mata Kanta Gana Lana Vraje Krida Kare Krishna Prema Vishtahana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Absorbed in such transcendental love, Lord Sri Krishna enjoys in Vraja with his beloved servants, friends, parents, and conjugal lovers. Purport. The descent of Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is very purposeful. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one who knows the truth about Sri Krishna's descent and his various activities is at once liberated and does not have to fall again to this existence of birth and death after he leaves his present material body. In other words, one who factually understands Krishna makes his life perfect. Imperfect life is realized in material existence in 5 different relationships we share with everyone within the material world: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and amorous love between husband and wife, or lover and beloved. These 5 enjoyable relationships within the material world are perverted reflections of relationships with the absolute personality of Godhead in the transcendental nature. That absolute personality, Sri Krishna, descends to revive the 5 eternally existing relationships. Thus, he manifests his transcendental pastimes in Vraja so that people may be attracted into that sphere of activities and leave aside their imitation relationships with the mundane. Then, after fully exhibiting all such activities, the Lord disappears. Wow, such a beautiful verse which tells us about the reasons why the Lord appears. And the verse is so poetic. He enjoys in the Vraja dham with his friends, servants, parents, conjugal lovers, etc. In the material world, also people have friends, people have parents, people have servants, people have husband or wife or beloved, etc. People have children. So in the material world, also these relationships are present. Now, one may ask, what is the difference between the Vrajavasi's love towards Krishna in any relationship and the so-called relationships of this world? The difference is that they are perverted. Perverted means they are not in their pure state. Pretty much every relationship in this material world, there is some agenda behind. There is some agenda. Mm. it, Someone recently told me even the richest of the people, like Bill Gates, is now going through a separation with his wife, right? Why? The agenda. So marriage is like a contract, and even parents have so much expectations from the children. Children have so much expectation from the parents, and the friends have so much expectations from the friends, etc. So the world is just there is hardly any true love. Hmm. Sorry if it is a little harsh, but scriptures are tough. Hmm. Only to some extent, mother's love is compared to a little bit tinge. There is some tinge of pure love there. The mother does so many things for the small child without any expectation. She's not getting any salary. She's not getting any reward. The child is only reward is urine and stool on the mother in India. So, but the mother continues day and night serving. She's so tired, but she'll serve the child. So, so the point is that if we have to revive the true relationship, we have to establish our relationship with Krishna, which is the only source of all joy. The relationships of this world ultimately become a cause of suffering only. And we see that a lot. So that doesn't mean we become impersonalist or have no friends, no family members, no children, no parents. That's not the meaning. But the meaning is that we should have our do the needful, but have a very strong connection with Krishna. So what will happen if one has a strong connection with Krishna? Then ups and downs in the material world will not perturb us. On the contrary, what happens for those who have zero connection with or hardly any connection with Krishna, hardly any spiritual element in their lives, and have too much attachment in their friends, family, parents, brother, sister, any relationship. And what will happen at some point or the other, even if the best of the husband, best of the wife, either the wife will pass away first or the husband will pass away. Only two possible combinations are there. So what happens when there is too much attachment and no spiritual attachment, no attachment to Krishna? Then that will become a cause of great suffering. And some people commit suicide, some people come and go into depression, some people can't live their life further anymore. Why? Lack of higher attachment. So we have to Life is a journey we have to develop. And that's why Krishna appears to exhibit a trailer, to show a trailer of the movie, which always Nitya-lila is going on in the spiritual world. Krishna comes in the Prakat form and shows the different Vraja pastimes, shows his pastimes with devotees, friends, parents, etc., so that we can be attracted. That's Krishna, all attractive. So to attract us to him. Okay, any other comments anyone has? We will read the next verse. Would someone like to read text number 13? Nandini Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu Dandat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yateshta Vihari Krishna Kare Antardhana Antardhana Kari Mane Kare Anumana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Krishna enjoys his transcendental pastimes as long as he wishes, and then he disappears. After disappearing, however, he thinks thus. Very simple, straightforward. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. He is a big Yaswarat. He can appear as per his choice and disappear as per his choice. He's not born or dead. He appears and disappears like the sun. Sun does not appear because I tell the sun to appear. He appears and disappears. So let's see what is the thought. Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta is so deep. It's telling us what the Lord is thinking. Isn't that amazing? So let's see. Yes, Shital Mataji, would you like to read this one?
I will attempt, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. चिरकाला नाही करी प्रेम भक्ति दाना भक्ति विना जाग तेरा नाही अवस्थाना. Translation. For a long time I have not bestowed unalloyed loving service to me upon the inhabitants of the world. Without such loving attachment, the existence of the material world is useless. Should I read the purport too?
Sure, Mataji.
Purport. The Lord seldom awards pure transcendental love, but without such pure love of God, freed from fruitive activities and empiric speculation, one cannot attain perfection in life. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So this verse is so deep. It is telling us what the Lord is thinking. Correct? Lord Krishna, what is his mood? After disappearing, that means in back home, over in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan, what is he thinking? He's thinking Chirakala, nahi kari bhakti dana. I have not given prema bhakti dan. Prema bhakti ka dan nahi kiya. That means it's a very long time has passed. I have not given the topmost love of Godhead. And what's happening because of that? Bhakti vina, in the absence of that prema bhakti, jagatera nahi avasthana. That the world is futile. Manushya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya shuniya vishakainu. If one attains the human form of life and does not worship Radha and Krishna, it's like knowingly drinking poison. So Lord is thinking that without that topmost prema bhakti, the world is futile. Therefore, people are suffering. Why are the people suffering? Because of bhakti vina, in the absence of devotional service. Because if one has bhakti, then that person will never suffer. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana vibhedyati swarga pavarga pi narkeshu apitulyat darshina. One who has bhakti, that person will never suffer, whether heaven or hell or Vaikuntha or the lowest of the planets or the topmost. So the Lord is more eager to give us bhakti than the recipient is eager to take it. Isn't that great mercy of Lord? That's why this Lord Chaitanya is most magnanimous. Even giving to the most wretched, who don't deserve, who don't even want, who don't even feel that they need, but the Lord is so merciful. You take it. Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Let's see, text 15. Yes, Lakshay, Babu Prabhu.
I Sakala Jagate More Kala Bidi Bhaktiya Vraja bhava Paitin Nahi Sakti. Translation. Everywhere in the world, people worship me according to spiritual injunctions, but simply by following such regulative principles, one cannot attain the loving sentiments of the devotees in Rajabhumi. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Lakshay Prabhu. So, vidhi, the word vidhi is used. Sakala jagata more kare vidhi bhakti. All the world means very, very, actually few people even do this vidhi bhakti. Vidhi, vidhan, rules and regulations, do's and don'ts. Vidhi bhakti raja bhave paiti nai shakti. So the limitations of vidhi bhakti are shared here. That one will not develop the fine loving sentiments like the Vrajavasis. So this may seem a little contradictory. But the point here is that one should not be too attached to the rituals that one forgets the spirit behind the rituals. A classic example is given when Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, he brought Jagannath's prasad and he said, "Oh, please take Jagannath's prasad." And it was very, very early in the morning. Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya had not even brushed his teeth or whatever daton, whatever he was supposed to do. So at that time, as per the vidhi, the etiquette is you can't eat anything before brushing. That's the common or the standard symptom or sign of a cultured person. And Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya being the great, he's not an ordinary person. He's a great Pandit, he's a great Jnani, he's a great Bhakta. At that time, he took the prasadam because he had achieved the mercy. Because ultimately, what is the essence of all rules and regulation? Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya najatu chit etayod sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayor eva kinkara. Satatam smartavya Vishnu. Always remember Krishna. And never forget Krishna. Vismartavya na jatu chit. This is the rule which is the topmost. All others, sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayor eva kinkara. They are the servants or subservients to these rules. What are the two main rules? Remembering Krishna and not forgetting Krishna. So yes, we should follow the rules and don'ts, rules and regulations given by the regulated principles of freedom, given by the acharyas. But at the same time, those rules and regulations should make our heart more soft, to develop the fine sentiments of Raja Bhakti. So it should not become just ritualistically. It should have that spirit plus the ritual, which will make it spiritual. Not just the ritual, not just vidhi, without understanding the spirit behind it, or without offering with love. Bhaktya mam patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. One who gives with love, one who gives with that bhava. Tadham bhakti upaharitam. It gives with bhakti bhava. Krishna is hungry for that bhakti bhava. Not how we move the bell, not how we move the incense, but with what love and devotion we put that. Okay, so this is some comment here. So we can move on to the next verse, which is 16. Yes, Punah Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Aishwarya Aishwarya Jana Nete Savajagat Misrita Aishwarya Sthila Preme Nahi Mora Prita. Knowing my appearances, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration, but devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. Purport. After his appearance, Lord Krishna thought that he had not disturbed the transcendental personal dealings with his devotees in Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. One may understand the signs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the Vedic literature and thus become a devotee of the Lord and worship him within the regulative principles described in the scriptures, but one will not know in this way how Krishna is served by the resident of Brajbhumi. One cannot understand the dealings of the Lord in Vrindavana simply by executing the ritualistic regulative principles mentioned in the scriptures. By following scriptural injunctions, one may enhance his appreciation for the glories of the Lord, but there is no chance for one to enter into personal dealings with him. Giving too much attention to understanding the exalted glories of the Lord reduces the chance of one's entering into personal loving affairs with the Lord. To teach the principles of such loving dealings, the Lord decided to appear as Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. So Krishna is not attracted by the big Aishwarya or the big shlokas of Brahma. That doesn't mean he's not pleased. He is certainly pleased, actually. He's happy with those. But if we have to do a comparative analysis, Shital Mataji is present and all the Jackson kids did a wonderful drama on Krishna's headache. So the gopis gave the dust of their lotus feet to cure Krishna's headache. Is that Aishwarya? They didn't give chandan and flowers and incense. Narada Muni had asked that to different devotees. And they were also quite the great sages and the manishis of Dwarka, etc. So they were also very exalted, but their mood was more with awe and reverence. That how can we give the dust of our feet, the lowest part of our body, on Krishna's head, who is our master? Impossible. We'll go to hell. You don't know the scriptures. What do they say? Even if we accidentally touch some holy thing, we have to beg for forgiveness. And you are telling the holiest of the holy things, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of God, and we knowingly give our dust to be put on his feet? No, this is not in the vidhi. But the gopis were beyond all vidhis. The Vrajavasis are beyond all those vidhis. Now the question may come, shall we imitate them? No, we don't have to imitate them. We have to follow the processes, the do's and don'ts. At the same time, try to develop the finer sentiments. Not be just too attached to knowledge, not be just too attached to the vidhis that we forget those fine sentiments. And but it's not a kind of imitation thing. Those who are born in the Vraj dham, they are not ordinary souls. They are great exalted devotees, even an animal, what to speak of humans, anyone in the even the Vraj dham. So we don't have to imitate them. We have to genuinely seek their blessings, so we can also develop that attachment to Krishna. We have hard time, I have hard time remembering Krishna, correct? Someone, even in the time of chanting, the mind goes in so many different directions. But the gopis have a hard time forgetting Krishna. They say, Brahma, your design is faulty. Why have you made these eyelids which blink for a second or a microsecond? And in that microsecond, we can't see Krishna. उद्धव सुधो हो गयो बजाई ज्ञान की गुदगुदी बाजत प्रेम का ढोल. When Uddhava came to pacify the Vrajavasis, the gopis of Vrindavan, oh, they must be feeling separation from Krishna. Oh, they must be distressed. And he came to give jnana, bajai gyan ki gudgudi. But when he saw these gopis are not ordinary people, they are the purest of the pure devotees. When he heard the prem ka dhol, because his gyan ki gudgudi means like, imagine a tiny, a small musical instrument playing softly, chan, 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 chan. And then suddenly there's a big dhol. What that instrument is unheard, right? So that's kind of like playing volume 1 and playing volume 100. What will volume 1 will be? Nothing. So jnana, aishwarya, all these are nothing in front of the unalloyed prema of the Vrajvasis and that to the gopis. And then that Uddhava said, I want to become a Gulmlata so that these gopis I can get the dust of their lotus feet. And that's the story of the famous Uddhav Kund, which comes in the Govardhan Parikrama Marg. So humility is there so much. It's a sign of humility, Uddhav's humility. So these are very deep points, and I'm just like theoretically saying it for what I have heard. But we can pray to the Vrajavasis, we can pray to Krishna, so we can also one day, one lifetime, sometime in our eternal journey, develop that Vrajabhava Bhakti. Because that's the goal, to develop the topmost love, servant to the servant of the gopis. Sakhir Anugatha Kuru. We read today morning also in our bhajan. Tulsi Maharani, what? Ei nivedana dharo sakhiranugatha karo sevadhikara diye karo nijadasi. So that's Prabhupada's mood. It's the mood of all our acharyas. They have this mood because they are the nitya, the associates, the manjaris. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada. All our acharyas. So therefore, we are so fortunate to be in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, where this is a line of giving us the topmost Raja Prema, the topmost Raja Bhakti. And if we sincerely try our best with humility, following the principles, following the guidance given by the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, then certainly it will happen. Any other comments, additions, questions? Okay.